I was a dyslexic reader too. And when I saw that the preparation for these tests was starting to create an anxiety in her, that her creative spark, the light in her eyes was starting to dim. And she transferred to Brooklyn New School that year in 3rd grade. And the more and more I learned about the tests and how they were being used and what they were doing, to her self-confidence, I just had to make the decision as a parent. I would never allow her to be subjected to music that wasn't appropriate for her, or a television show, or food, medication. I checked those things as a parent. And so I felt like her education had to be equally up to a standard that would serve her as a child, and the tests were no longer doing that. I am extremely fortunate, we're extremely fortunate to be in a school where they do teach to the whole child. Brooklyn New School is very unique in that way. But what I recognize from her experience at BNS is that not all children were having that experience. And so even though she was, I had to take a stand for all children. It was about her initially, but when I saw the direction of education headed, I said, you know what, I've got to do this for my kid, but for all children in New York City and New York State. And I saw that there was a movement afoot. I talked to other parents, and we were all starting to agree that this whole idea of one test determining whether she was going to move to the next grade, determining who she was as a person, was so unjust and so unfair that I decided to opt her out. And that became, let's say, the linchpin in a movement. I pulled the plug, and it started a windfall. And by speaking with other families and other families coming up to us and asking how did it go and what did she think and what did she feel, she felt amazing. She had, the school was so awesome. They allowed her to be in the school for those 6 days of testing. She was placed with her joy into the kindergarten classroom, where she got to be with the kindergarten children. She got to read to them, which was always an issue for her, was reading out loud. But here she was surrounded by 4- and 5-year-olds, and she read to an entire class of kids, and she came home excited. She came home feeling self-confident. Her reading disability she did not feel it that day. And from that day forward, she began to reclaim her self-confidence. And every minute of her education since then has only been positive. And so I said to myself, I'm not going to let this happen ever to her. There is nothing in this world that's as important as her happiness and her joy, and I will do everything in my power for her and for all children to maintain that level of self-confidence and self-esteem. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's how it is.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you.